Rangers Journal Night.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, wherever you are watching this today. My name is Doug, and this is the Rangers Journal, proudly sponsored by Premier VPN, a fast, safe, and private VPN for all of your internet users. Please check them out, as they have been gracious enough to sponsor the channel for the next couple of months. You're watching today our new show called The Scouting Report, which is here to look at players beyond the walls of Ibrox and the Royal Blue Rangers, and have a look at players that we think could potentially do a job for the team, or who we'd like to see playing. These players will be looked at by our scouting team here at Rangers Journal, which we are currently growing and adding people to try and bring you the best, brightest, and most interesting players from across the entire planet. We decided we want to focus on positions to begin with, positions that we need and that we think that we are struggling in. So a couple of the main two that we, I think fans have kind of generally been agreed on that we are missing are the six and up front. So in this episode, we're going to have a look at a couple of strikers that we think potentially could do a job, and that would be interesting to see in the light blue shirt of Rangers. First off, the players today have been all be scouted by Stephen Wilson, who you can see on Twitter at StephenW1192. So first of all, thanks to Stephen for looking out these players and doing the legwork to make this video possible. We've got a player here, Marco Rakonjak, I think it is. Please forgive my pronunciation there. He's a 24-year-old who is currently playing out at the DWTK. Young player, so he's got a decent price, about €800,000 value. He's a player still kind of finding his feet. He's played quite a few games across a couple of different clubs. At least two there, I think, that you'll recognise, in Lokomotiv Moscow and Red Star Belgrade. But his most recent team prior to that was TSC Baka Topola, who I think have appeared in European competition recently. He is simply an out-and-out striker. That's all he does, what he is best at. And he's got a kind of an all-round attacking skill set, with attacking and technical attributes are his best. Creativity is okay, but he's not going to really contribute much in the defensive side of things. As you can see from his heat map, he does get himself around the pitch. He doesn't really have a primary focus. He contributes about to play where he can for his current team, which is good. And we want to see him contributing. It's one of the things that Cyril Dessers is not the best at, so we want to see a player who can support. Although he's not necessarily the best at all times, he's still a little bit slight, a little bit younger, although at 24 is coming into a kind of age that we'd want to start seeing rapid progress. He does have decent passing stats at 63% success rate at the moment, but at 43%, I would like to see a little bit more from his dribbling. But he does look like a reasonably strong lad, despite his slightness. Total checking out his video and videos that are available of him, he does seem to like to drift out to the left and cut in. He had a couple of Matondo-esque kind of goals where he's doing that on the left-hand side, cutting in and shooting into that top right-hand corner. He seems quite good at sort of nipping in front of players, getting a toe in for goals, and he definitely likes to pounce on mistakes. There's quite a few of the goals in his videos where he's capitalising on opposition mistakes, which I think, if we're able to put pressure on teams, definitely in the domestic game, then we'll be able to see him pounce on mistakes that those defenders may make and hopefully get a few goals out of that. My main concern will probably be that his goal rate isn't fantastic at the moment. And at 24, I would have hoped to see that slightly better on, but he is on the cheaper side, so that maybe evens itself out. He would need to be strong to keep up with the domestic defences, but as I say, there is an option there, and there could be a player in there if the right thing, he did look bright in his videos, and for that kind of price, as I say, he could be a good backup option. But the next two, I think, are probably better overall options, as they are players that would come in and definitely be starting players rather than Rakonjak, who I think would be potentially more of a squad player. The second player we have for you is an Italian called Roberto Piccoli. Roberto was playing at Cagliari, I'm sure many of you will have heard of. He spent most of his career in Serie A, playing for a number of different clubs. He's 23, so a little bit younger, but his value is significantly higher at about 3.8 million euros. So he would cost more to bring to the club. I believe he's currently on loan at Cagliari as well. So they may have, if we wanted to bring him in January, there may have to be some haggling to break that loan deal, although he could be an option for after that. Again, he is an out-and-out striker. You can see he's played for Cagliari, Lecce, Empoli, and Hellas Verona. All teams I imagine many people have heard of from European competition amongst other things. And as you can see from his heat map, he doesn't spend as much time further back as perhaps Rakitic did, but he does again drop and moves particularly out to the sides in that kind of midfield area to get the ball, but does have a good sort of focus in that centre of the box. His attacking figures are much better in terms of his overall attack, pushing up towards the 70s. He's not very creative or technical, but he's not very tactical or technical, but his creative abilities are there. He's not going to contribute a huge amount defensively to the team, and he's could improve his passing slightly. His other main deficiency tends to be sitting in terms of he's often offside, so he needs to keep his eye on that kind of thing. However, he is very good on the counter attack and loves to spring himself on teams. He gets a lot of his goals in Italy that way. He likes to dribble with the ball, likes flick-ons, so we would be looking to get players closer to him if they are going to benefit from most of that. But I think the thing that fans like most of him that I definitely could see in his video is that he does seem to be a bit of a fighter. He's got that kind of classic Italian bite to him. Likes a bit of rough and tumble, which I'm sure you would get from the defences in Scotland. And the other thing that I particularly like is that he's not afraid to take a shot from distance. He's got a decent hit on him from in and around the box and from outside the box. And he had a good few shots in his videos in that, and a couple of goals from there as well. If we're able to get players running on, overlapping him when he's in that kind of mood, then either he can get goals or indeed players could profit from the balls that potentially come back from that if he hits the post or if the goalkeeper has to parry or defend their blocks, then there could be some chances to have for that. He was scrappy, liked to get in and about the ball, and very much more central than, say, Rakitic, or the way that I think we've seen sort of like a man playing thus far. He didn't drift out as wide quite as much, although he does do so. And when he does so, it tended to be a little bit deeper to get the ball. When Cagliari are pushed back a little bit. But he does like that just sort of classic central spot in the middle of the box, pushing to get goals, fighting defenders, and as I say, getting those shots off from the edge of the box as well. The last player we've got for you today is another striker. He's 25 years old, a little bit older, has a little bit more experience, and is without a doubt, I think, the best option in terms of potential purchase. Although coming with that, he's also the most expensive, around 4 million euros. He's currently on loan to Al Kholoud, and is on loan from Besiktas. Besiktas obviously a strong team, where Gio is right now, and he has got, without doubt, the best goal scoring history as well. Besiktas has got 15 goals there, 12 goals and 14 at Cam Simpasa, and 15 out of 50 for Standard Liège. Would like to see that pick up a little bit more if he was to come to Rangers, but again, in terms of his attributes, again, his attacking is a lot higher. He's got better creative and technical scores than the players previous. And you can see that when he's on the ball in his videos. If you watch any videos of him on YouTube, he's got good control. Again, he's very strong. He's a capable player. He can play all across the front line. Both SofaScore and FotMob both seemed to agree that he could play both left and right wing. SofaScore didn't have him as attacking mid, but FotMob did, so there's maybe a little bit more of a debate there. But I don't think we would be looking to play him there anyway. I would want to be playing him up top as our main striker. He loves an aerial duel. He's very good with his head, scores quite a few goals with his head from what I could see. That's going to be something that's going to be useful for us in domestic football. His finishing is strong, his dribbling is strong, and he also likes to help out defensively as well, which would be beneficial in Europe. He can be a little bit weak in his hold-up play, which I know would concern some people, but I think it would be worth the trade-off given his other attributes. He likes to cut inside. He's good with his short moving and passes. So again, if we can get players closer to him, in terms of the likes of Barami or Cherney, I think they could have some really good link-up. He likes to tackle as well. He's got a few goals where he's won the ball, and then started a counter and gone on to score. And the other thing that I liked about him is that he doesn't seem like he's a selfish player. And there's a couple of opportunities and videos that he had where he's either hit a shot that's been deflected of a defender and come back to him, or he's not quite got past the defender he wanted to, but he's kept his head up. He's looked, he's seen players that are in the box available and open, and he's managed to slide the ball to them who've gone on to score. And I think although you want your striker to be a little bit on the greedy side, if you like, it's good to see that he has the wherewithal to look around him and have a look and see what's there in order to benefit the team as a whole, and get the goals when needed. So he is currently on loan. So again, if we want to bring him in January, we might have to do a little bit of negotiation there, but could certainly look to him more long term. I think he is, definitely more of the quality that we need in comparison to the other two. Although I think Piccoli would suit the Scottish League in terms of his sort of fightingness. Rakovic, I think, has a little bit more he would need to do to be in the team for full term. But Michela, I think Jackson Michela would be a player who would come straight into the first team, and I think would do well. Got some bright spots, particularly those aerial duels and finishing, and ability to dribble with the ball, which I think the manager would particularly like in terms of attacking. You see from his heat map there, he does favour kind of the left side a little bit in terms of cutting in from there, but it is mostly central. It always amuses me when you're looking at strikers' heat maps because they always have a big red dot in the middle from taking the centre after goals. But I can assure you he does spend most of his time in the box rather than in the centre spot. So these are just the sort of players that we've kind of looked at, had a quick look at recently. This is the first of hopefully quite a few videos in this scouting series. So we're bringing in a couple of guys to do some of the scouting, various types. Got some new folk just in the door to do that. So we hope to bring you some more options. Guys who will be particularly available in January, so that's something we'll be looking at. And also looking at not just strikers, but players who can play the six. It's another important role that we've obviously highlighted and discussed, and a couple of other ones that we have looked at in terms of areas we can improve. If there's any particular areas or positions of the pitch you think we should look at, or indeed you've got players that you want us to run the rule over and think we should sign, do put them in the comments below. We'll have a look at any comments that you give and take those into account for future videos. Keep an eye out for these. They'll be posted just randomly during the week when we've got our scouting reports together, and we'll bring them to you as and when we can. Thank you for tuning in. My name's been Doug. This has been the Scouting Report for the Rangers Journal. Don't forget that every night it's Rangers Journal night.